President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet.
President Trump, the self-proclaimed winner of everything, is slowly becoming the most irrelevant figure in American politics. His time in office will be remembered as a colossal failure, with a legacy as weak and meaningless as a forgotten tweet. In one of the most unexpected political takedowns of the decade, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes, the Terminator himself, has taken the gloves off and launched an unfiltered attack on Trump, and the internet is still reeling. It all began over a petty jab about TV ratings. Trump mocked Arnold's tenure on The Apprentice, calling it a disaster, but Schwarzenegger didn't just clap back. He delivered a calculated personal strike that left Trump's political empire exposed.
They hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place, and we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster, and Mark will never, ever bet against Trump again.
Hey, Donald, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again.
This wasn't just about TV shows. This was about dismantling the myth that Trump had built, brick by brick. It wasn't just ratings that Trump was concerned about. It was his fragile ego. In a red meat rally in Iowa, Trump mocked Schwarzenegger's Apprentice ratings, smirking about how the show was a total disaster. What he didn't know was that Arnold wasn't going to just let it slide. Arnold fired back on Twitter with one simple line: "Why don't we switch jobs?" It was more than just a clapback. It was a challenge to everything Trump stood for. The challenge wasn't just for the show. It was for Trump's entire identity, built on ratings, celebrity status, and mockery. In seconds, the internet exploded. Arnold wasn't just clapping back at Trump's ego.
We all know that the way he is, and if it makes him feel good to, tell everyone he weighs 215, I think everyone laughs about it because he does not look like.
He was calling out the failure of a man who had turned reality TV into a political career. As an immigrant to this country, Arnold reminded his fellow Americans of the dangers of Trump's lies, how Trump had tried to overturn an election, falsely claiming it was stolen. And as Schwarzenegger delivered these devastating truths, timelines filled with comparisons between Trump's chaotic leadership and Arnold's calm, effective governance of California. Arnold didn't just hit Trump with humor. He sliced through his political myth. He reminded everyone that Arnold, a Republican who had governed a blue state, had more dignity in his pinky finger than Trump ever showed in the Oval Office. The punchline of Arnold's response wasn't just a laugh, it was a call to action, to reclaim the future from a president who built his political career on lies. As Arnold continued to call out Trump's political shortcoming, he dismantled the myth that Trump was the epitome of success. Arnold shared personal anecdotes of overcoming massive obstacles in his life, coming to America with no money, no English, and no connections, and succeeding. He didn't whine or make excuses. He simply overcame the odds, and that's what he urged Americans to do in the face of the obstacles Trump had thrown their way. But it wasn't all about TV ratings and jabs. Arnold made it clear that his critique was about much more than a failed show. It was about the moral rot at the core of Trump's presidency.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that?
In an exclusive interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Schwarzenegger called Trump out for confusing ratings with leadership. TV isn't democracy, Arnold said, reminding the world that true leadership isn't measured by applause. It's measured by how many lives are changed, by how well you serve your country. Schwarzenegger wasn't shy about calling out Trump for being a failure on multiple fronts. He lambasted Trump for his weak, embarrassing performance alongside Russian President Vladimir Putin, mocking Trump for acting like a little fanboy instead of standing up for America's values. Arnold invoked the strength of past leaders like Ronald Reagan and pointed out how Trump had abandoned any semblance of strength, compromising American intelligence and justice. But the most damaging strike came when Arnold didn't just mock Trump's weakness, he laid bare the truth about Trump's failure as a leader. Arnold didn't just attack Trump's performance on the world stage, he attacked Trump's entire brand. Trump left me a sinking ship, he said. Arnold took aim at Trump's brand, calling him out for using the executive producer role on The Apprentice to drag down the rating. In doing so, Arnold exposed the painful truth. Trump's political brand was toxic, and even the entertainment industry felt the effects. Trump had made the show about his ego, turning it into a political battleground that cost Arnold the ratings and ultimately the job. But in that loss, Arnold found a weapon, the hard proof that Trump's brand poisons everything it touches. The most powerful moment in this war of words came when Arnold took to social media to launch a devastating political attack on Trump. In a video backdropped by Conan's Swords, Arnold didn't
Because if
just
you look a
engage in
little
movie
bit
star
beyond
theatrics.
Washington,
He
you
gave
will
a
see-
sobering warning about the state of America under Trump's rule. He invoked the horrors of Nazi Germany, comparing Trump's incitement of the Capitol riot to the violence that shattered Europe during Kristallnacht.
But what are we to make of those elected officials who have enabled his lies and his treachery? I will remind them of what Teddy Roosevelt said. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president.